at the Mat, the whole objective of Freedom at the Mat as an online as well as offline platform is to be a place for women to be able to heal. It's a platform that allows us to be able to heal. So, heal and also grow and become free of anything that's bonding us and holding us back. Whether that is food, which is one of the main things we focused on, nutrition, diet nutrition, whether it's like needing to work out and having insight on yoga, which is my favorite, or other things. But tonight is a relatively, not even relatively, relative to what we've done in the past, a very serious conversation. I had the blessing and the miracle of being in a space with Sharon Brown's sister about a month ago. And Sharon asked those of us in that environment if we would be open to hear something she had to share. And she shared it with us, and it was a poem for her abusers. And I'd never heard anything like it. And immediately upon hearing it, I got chills. But what I also understood was that there is a place for this piece in the world, and that there are many, many people, many girls, which is I'm all about girls, many girls who are being violated every single day and have been since the beginning of time. We go invisible, our voices are not heard, and somehow we are supposed to go on having lived with these violations and conduct a normal life. Miss Sharon Brown has created a piece that it took her quite a while to compose that has aided in her healing. So tonight I'm going to turn it over to Miss Sharon. I'm going to turn the phone over to her. And at the very end, after she presents, then I have a few questions that I will moderate. And one second, yeah. And no, I'm going to turn around. I'm just going to turn around. And if you guys have questions, please save them to the end as well. Of course, be respectful for her healing process. And that's it. So without no further ado, Sharon Brown is a native Memphian, Memphis, Tennessee, my hometown. She is a fervent Christian woman. She is a mother of 3 and a beautiful grandmother of 4. She's been in the banking industry for 46 years, right? And I share these things because we have people that are hurting and that have experienced these things that are every single day we're encountering. Their mothers, their grandmothers, right? They're our daughters, they are our cousins, they are our employees, and they are our coworkers. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to turn it over to Miss Sharon. Thank you so much, Miss Sharon. Anything else you want to share about yourself before you get going?
No, just I'm fine.
Okay, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing this.
You're
and
welcome.
Saying a prayer for everyone who is listening. So thank you.
You're welcome. As you know, I'm Sharon Brown, and please forgive me for reading this because I haven't memorized it. And I choose not to memorize it because I lived it, and that was enough. I'm reading it today, hoping that it touches someone's heart and someone else is healed from it. I'll begin now. This is something I've wanted to do for a while. I'm a little nervous, so forgive me if you don't see a smile. I'm replacing names with numbers, not here to make anyone ashamed. This is strictly for me or anyone else that is trying to remain sane. Talking about my past is sometimes difficult for me. So I'll start at the age of 5 when I remember sitting on my uncle's knee. I thought it was a game. He laughed, I laughed, he sighed, I would sigh, as he slowly moved his hand up my dress and along my thigh. I didn't understand. You see, he had this funny look. I just wanted to play, and that's all it took as he moved his hand to play with my pocketbook. Now, with that funny look comes a painful sound. I became worried. Uncle Juan, you okay? As he smiled, playtime is over, Sharon. We'll play this game another day. This is something I've wanted to do for a while. Please forgive me if I don't smile. As I continued this story and I heal within, I will now begin at the age of 10. It's the 4th of July, and all of the family was at the house, carefully watching quietly in a corner, eating my cheese and sounds. It's time for bed, and all the younger girls are sleeping in one room, not realizing that playtime was about to resume. The bedroom door opens, and someone is at my cousin's bed. I heard them laugh very low, only it wasn't Uncle One, it was Uncle Two instead. I thought to myself, this is not right, Uncle Two in the dark, in the room with us girls. Thinking back that playtime, not playtime, tears rolling down my face, and my body begins to curl. I waited until the next day, right before we turned in for the night, to whisper in my father's ear that someone's coming in our room and it's not right. Before my father could answer, my stepmother chimed in, "Go to your room. Don't nobody want you." Looking at my father thinking, please come with me and leave her ass behind. Slowly going back to the room and turning out the lights, Uncle Two returned again when the time was just right. This time he's at my bed as he slowly pulls the covers away. He never touched or talked, just moaned and groaned. This must be a new way to play. Whatever game he's playing, I just wish he'd go away. Now who can I tell? All I could do is cry. Hello, it's me again. Something I've wanted to do for a while. Please forgive me. I have yet to find my smile. I'm 13 now. It's just me, my father, uncles, and brother. I cook, I clean. I'm no longer a sister but a mother. Taking a bath was a chore for me. So I'd have my brothers play outside the bathroom door. Getting ready for bed, and my father is now home, sleeping on the floor in my brother's room, not wanting to be alone. My father has finally made it home, waking me to go to my room. My uncle is standing there smiling. My heart's now filled with gloom. Reluctantly gathering my pillow and cover from the floor, I went to my room and made sure I locked the door. Barely asleep, I hear the doorknob turn. How did Unc unlock the door? My stomach began to churn. As he climbed into my bed, I immediately turned away. No one's ever gotten in my bed. I thought, another way to play? He pulled me closer and began rubbing my breast. thinking in my head, please stop, go away. I just want to rest. A voice said, relax. I won't hurt you. It's like hide and seek. Jesus. It's not Uncle 1 or Uncle 2. It's my Father who speaks. This is something I wanted to do for a while. The older I become, the less I smile. I'm wondering, is there a sign on my door on my head that reads, come this way to Sharon's bed? One uncle wants me to suck him for 50 cents. One just wants me to play in his lap. The other uncle just wets over me, and my father held my mind still can't rap. I am 14 now, and I'm no longer under my uncle's reach. It really doesn't matter. The father and daughter relationship has been breached. My father lying next to me, holding me so tight. Facing the window, I said to him, in the backyard, I see a light. I remember my stepmom and police are at the door, and the police are yelling at my father to get down on the floor. While they were asking my father, where is the gun? With tears in my eyes, Mama, I need to talk to you about something that's being done. Take me with you. He's climbing in my bed. You can't go. He won't let you come with me, she said. Before she left, she whispered something in my father's ear. He immediately stared at me, and all I felt was fear. My stepmom speaking to him or someone about that awful day. Whomever, whatever she told or said made my father stay away. It's 3:00 in the morning. My father's getting in from work. My body knows when he is home. Everything in me begins to jerk. I hear him open the door, only it was my brother's room. Lord, this is too much for me to consume. I jumped from my bed and opened my brother's door. With my pillow and cover in hand, I laid on my brother's floor. I stared at my father with tears in my eyes. He turned and closed the door to my surprise. Daddy, I prayed for God to remove me from the hands of you, not knowing I needed to pray for my brothers too. This is something I've wanted to do for a while. I see a light, but still no smile. Speaking to my aunt, my father was extremely upset. Me touch my daughter? I would never do that. He looked at me yelling, ask Sharon, have I ever touched her? Looking back into his eyes and answering, no, sir. My father asked my brother and I if we would like to move back. Only 9, 7, and 6 when my father came and did his snatch. Thought it was just a visit, not a sneak attack. Seeing my mom twice in over 5 years. Just thinking about how she might look brings about tears. Thinking in my head, finally going back home. Thank you, Lord. I can sleep at peace and alone.
Sharon, thank you for your courage. Thank you for being bold. How do you feel after reading that?
A little emotional. I didn't think I would be. I wrote this doing, well, I received, I had the pleasure of having breast cancer in 2017. I know that sounds strange, but it made me have a deeper relationship with my Lord and Savior.
Okay.
And I asked God to cleanse me because I was home for 7 months.
Okay.
And I started this, and it took me a long time to write this because I had a severe anxiety attack. So my memory, so as I was writing, I was having anxiety attacks. And then it just got worse and worse and worse, so I had to stop. I just couldn't do it. And so that's why it took so long for me to write this.
Okay. So let me ask you this, and I'm just going to stand right here.
Okay,
Yep.
that's fine. Go ahead.
First of all, it took you 2 years, which still, what you've done is remarkable. As somebody who just writes ditties for poetry, you know, I can't imagine how much effort went into this. So I honor you, and I'm grateful that you shared this, and my prayer is that others will heal from this. A few questions, and then we'll go to some of the people who chimed in. So your molestation began at what age? What
5.
ages?
5 to 14.
5 to 14. And so how old are you now? Are you sharing your age?
Sure. I will be 64 this month.
Okay. Good. Happy birthday. So you said 2017, which is just 3 years ago. So you were 61 when you processed it. So I want to understand, in the interest of helping others heal, how did the molestation affect your self-worth between 14 and 61 before you processed it?
I thought I had processed it. I took everything and I put it in a corner. And any time anything would happen to me, I would always take it and put it in a corner. I knew mentally what to do with pain. Whenever I was in pain, my mind knew where to go. And that protected me. And that's how I survived. So it didn't matter what it was. If you said something hurtful to me, I knew instantly where to go.
Okay. You blocked.
Yes.
Are there any other ways the devastation, the violation of your body threatened to hold you back? And where I'm going with that question is, you know, many of us have had different traumas in our lives, and we don't realize it, but it may affect us from believing that that we are deserving of the best, that we're deserving of a good marriage, or able to be a good mother. Or did it affect you in your personal development in any other ways that you know of?
In every way. When I got married, God blessed me with a man.
Yes.
And thank God for that.
Yes.
But when I got married, I didn't bring baggage, I brought trunks. So I needed a man. I went through a lot. It was a big adjustment for me. It was a big adjustment to love. I wanted someone to love me, truly, truly love me. Because you got to understand, my father said he loved me. My uncle said they loved me. So, does this man really love me? Or he just saying this? So, it took my husband a long time, and I don't even think he knows it, to really get to my heart. Um, it also affected my children.
How?
Because I was a little cold and protective and extremely too protective.
Hmm.
Like I held on to my daughter like glue. Like, you know, even in high school, if you talk to her today, uh, she played basketball and she was active, and but I was right there. I wanted to be at practice. Where are you going? We go out of town. I'm right there with her. I need to see her. I need to hear her. Who is that? I don't. I didn't. I was just extremely protective, not just of her, but also of my son.
What role? So you mentioned that your healing process. Was there a specific point it began? Did it begin with the breast cancer that you began to heal, or do you know of another point in which you actively began pursuing your healing from this?
During the breast cancer.
During the breast cancer.
So, as a matter of fact, I sat right here in this chair, and I just prayed and meditated every day. That's all I could do because I was in so much pain. I prayed, I cried, and I meditated, and I asked Him to cleanse me. Anybody that's not supposed to be around me, remove them. Anything that's within me, Father, remove it. I just wanted Him to dwell in me, and I wanted to do His will. And I promised Him that if He would heal me,
Yes.
not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, that I would do His will. And I would do it loudly and proudly. And that's the reason I'm doing this today.
Yes, thank you. Bold survivor. And the last question I have is, and I just have to pause because this is just very emotional, and I can't thank you enough, Sharon. I can't. I mean, this will live here for a while, and for anybody who comes back to it, or I invite anybody who is watching and other people who have suffered this, if you will share this with them, that you have a beautiful woman who made it over to the other side. It may take some time, it may take some prayer, it may take some meditation, it may take something else, but you can get there. For anybody whose life is being held back because of these horrible things that are happening to our girls, I just want to help them. So my last question is, and anything else you want to share, please share. How can we, it's a two-part question, for those who have experienced this, what advice do you have to them on restoring their sense of self and value and self-worth?
You have to accept it first.
That it happened. Okay.
And even though I thought I had accepted it and I was living with it, but I really hadn't. I just had it in the corner. I could talk about it all day.
Right.
But I didn't go into detail. It was the details that got me. Once I started talking about the details, that's when I started shaking. That's when I started having anxiety. And you have got to speak it. You have got to write it down. You have to get it out. You are passing it on to your children, to your daughters. You don't realize it, but you are.
By your coldness, by your lack of emotion, by your lack of being able to be vulnerable with them.
Yes, because I didn't hold my daughter. My daughter, I would always sit her when I had her. I set her next to me. When I cleaned, I would put her on a little blanket and I would drag her in the room and she'd be in the room with me. But I did not sit and hold my daughter. The only time my daughter sat in my lap, she was sick.
And that was because you didn't want proximity to what was that?
It was just a coldness.
Coldness.
It was just that coldness that was in me that I didn't realize that I was displaying. I knew how to take care of my brothers, without a doubt.
Okay.
And I got extremely defensive. You could not get close to them. Nothing was going to happen to them. I wasn't going to allow that.
Right.
And that's the only time I got riled up. Now, it could happen to me, but it cannot happen to a family member.
You suffered for everyone because you suffered. You don't want anyone else to suffer.
No. And I've not only hurt my children, but I've also hurt my grandchildren. Because I'm very strong. I'm straightforward.
Yeah, you're pretty hardcore.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when I'm coming, I'm not coming at you. I'm coming because I want to be there for you. But me not realizing what I was doing ran them away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now I'm at a stage, I'm just asking God to just work with me.
Mm-hmm.
And not harden my heart because they don't understand. I love them regardless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That will never change.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how mad they are. I don't care what they say. That's on me.
Mm-hmm.
And so you gotta let it go so you don't pass it on. So you're not hardcore. Unharden your heart so you can love and you can find the right love.
Because a lot of people they run from it because they haven't documented, they haven't processed it, and they run to whatever love's available.
Yes.
And that's often the wrong love.
Yes.
That's a really valid point.
God blessed me.
Yeah, he did.
But I was very cold to every man that came my way. Okay? And so I was just very cold. And my husband came, I was cold to him.
Okay.
He just wouldn't go away.
Right. And thank God he did not.
He did not.
And so my last question is, there are many of us who have experienced this, and then there are those of us who have not. For those of us who have not, but we have friends, I have other friends who have as well, experiences. How can we support other beautiful women who have experienced this? Do you have any advice for us, how we can support you, and or how do we help put an end to this? Is there any recommendation of how we raise our boys or what we can do to stop this? To stop the trivialization of our bodies so that men feel they have access to them and they damage us for generations?
We have to talk to our children and stop yelling and screaming, and then we got to listen to them.
Okay.
See, my stepmother she didn't listen to me.
Okay.
She thought, no, that's in your mind. No.
Okay.
Because we don't want to think that is happening. Why? Because I love that person. So you got to talk to your children on a constant basis. I used to have confession night with my kids. And their friends. And they would all come and sit. And I said, you can say whatever you want to say. I'm not going to get mad. And trust me, they said some things. And at that particular time, I was smoking. Mm-hmm. I'd have a cigarette in my hand and one in the ashtray. Because I'm like, Jesus, I didn't mean this. I didn't want to open this door. But they were asking. And I answered. And most of the time, I didn't have to say anything. Because the other kids would jump in and say, that was stupid of you to do. So-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. And so but it got them talking. Mm-hmm. We don't listen to our kids. We don't.
Okay. And any support that women who you might have a friend who you know is suffering from and you might observe that it's a block for her in her life or her self-worth. Any advice for those of us?
You take them slowly.
Okay.
Just sit and chill and have a glass of wine if they drink wine, or your Kool-Aid or whatever, you kicking it, popcorn, and just start slowly. So I had a friend, or I heard about this person, and once they start talking, said, and just kind of feel them, and let them say, no, I'm not going to let you get away with that. Mm-hmm. I've held on to mine for 57 years, Precious. There's no reason for that.
So helping them process it.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to see if we have any additional questions from anyone. If anybody has any questions for Miss Sharon, do you feel like taking one or two?
Any?
Okay. All right. Just going to see if there are any questions. You have a lot of hearts, a lot of love. I'm proud of you. I love you. This is so brave. Sharon, you're a hero. Raw strength. Great job. Goosebumps. Okay. All right. Well, Sharon, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
May God continue to bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I want to bless any sister that is out there that is going through. By all means, please reach out to Olivia. And
reach out to you on DM if they want to reach out to you on DM.
yes.
Okay.
And I will be more than willing to pray with you, listen to you, and we can take it slow. But you have to let it go. When is enough enough? How long are you going to allow that to control you? I allowed it too long. Am I there yet? No. Because I really thought I was, after I wrote this, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I kept telling my daughter, I said, I'm going to do spoken word. I'm doing spoken word. And the first time I did it at a women's retreat. And it was probably too soon. Because once I started speaking, all these voices, because what I just read to you is a very small part of my life. A very small part. I don't know if we have time. I was sharing with Olivia earlier that after I finally got with my mom, I started working at that time it was First Tennessee Bank. It's now First Horizon. And I caught the bus to work, and I worked at night. And making a long story short, I was attacked at knife point and was taken in between two homes and was raped. And he told me he was going to kill me. But I carried a knife, and because I had my books, because I was going to school as well, and I turned it upside down, and there were leaves, and I was fumbling through the leaves to find my knife. And he grabbed my arms and he said, "What are you doing?" And I calmly said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I got caught up in the moment." And he went back to doing what he was doing. And I got my knife and I prayed. And I said, "Lord, I don't want to kill him. I just want him to go away." And I came straight down. Making a long story short, I ended up back home. And the police came and they went and got my things and everything between the house. And I remember sitting in the chair at home. And I said, "I can't do this anymore. It's too much. I'm tired. I can't do this anymore." And if you've ever watched television and where your body leaves you, well, my spirit left me and I could see myself sitting in the chair. I was gone mentally. That was it. And I could hear my mom calling my name, but I didn't answer her. I couldn't move. I didn't exist. I was mentally checked out. And she is screaming my name, screaming it over and over and over again. So finally she comes in the room and she's saying my name. I still didn't move. But she said, "Richard is having a seizure." And Richard is my brother. And because she said my brother's name, whom I am extremely protective of, I immediately snapped back and took care of my brother. And by the mercy of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, That's why I'm sitting here today. Because I was checked out. I was gone. I felt no more. I couldn't take anymore. But obviously I could, because I'm still sitting here and sharing it with you.
Did you ever, I promise my last question, did you ever do therapy? Or do you recommend it?
Yes, I went to therapy. I went to therapy, but God has also blessed me with a gift. I went to therapy to talk, and I end up helping the therapist more than she helped me.
Okay.
And again, that's because of the God that lies within me. And it's okay. And she says, I can't believe that all of this that you've gone through, that you're okay. I said, oh, okay. And that's how it was. Oh, okay. So I left the same way I came.
Well, for those who that may be valuable, for you, the Lord Jesus Christ was that was your therapist.
Yes.
In the Bible.
Yes. God, I must say, even though she said the Bible, I walked by blind faith. All I know is if I ask, he does it. And if I go to him, he fixes it. You know how you go to a light switch? You don't think about it. You just know I go to the light switch, the light comes on. And when I go to it, it's going to go off. That's all you know. You don't even think about it.
Yep.
You don't know how it works.
But it does.
But it does.
Yeah.
And that's the same way I did God. I just believed if I went to him, he was going to fix it. That's it. I didn't think anything one way or the other. Didn't quote one verse. Fix it. Heal me. Remove it. And I went on.
Well, Sharon, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you all as well. Thank you, everybody.
Love
you,
you.
Sharon.
Love everybody.
Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Bye-bye.